CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We've got sunshine today in Cincinnati. Looks like it's going to be cloudy throughout the day, but initially this week it appeared we were going to have rain, and that does not appear to be an issue, at least as of right now. The Bengals and the Chargers. Cincinnati won the toss. They have deferred to the second half, so the rookie Evan McPherson will kick it off to the dangerous Andre Roberts for LA. Chargers coming off that 28-13 loss in Denver. The Bengals destroyed the Steelers last week. We're underway in the Queen City. Returnable for Roberts. He's got room to the outside. Can he turn the corner? Yes, he can. Roberts down the sideline, and a strong start for LA. Outstanding field position to open up. Chased down by Trey Flowers on special teams. A 48-yard return. Justin Herbert went over 300 yards last week, but had 2 interceptions. Patrick Surtain, a pick 6, and a second one in the end zone.
Not his best performance, but he's always bounced back from performances like that. And after that return, imperative that his offense take advantage of it. I think they want to make this game a track meet throughout.
Open up at the 45, inside run for Eckler, limited to a 2-yard gain. Eckler had just 31 yards rushing in that loss to Denver. Starting offensive line, well, for Los Angeles, Storm Norton has been there basically since the beginning, because Brian Bulaga went down with an injury in week 1, placed on IR with a back injury, so it's been Norton on that right side. They're so happy to have Matt Filer back. He didn't play last week because of an ankle injury. Herbert, short toss, caught by Jackson, and tackled immediately by Logan Wilson. Wilson now with 90 tackles on the season. It's a loss of 1. Defensively for Cincinnati, Bengals have gotten back to the style of defense we saw earlier this season. This front is giving teams fits. And in the secondary, Rougier has been a tremendous pickup. Eli Apple has been very opportunistic at interception each of the last 2 weeks.
Their mantra is very simple: fast and physical, and they've re-emphasized takeaways, and they've gotten them the last 2 ball games.
Nickel package here for Cincinnati. Herbert steps up in the pocket. He will sling it downfield, and it's caught for a first down by Keenan Allen, who is Mr. Third Down. Nobody has been better on third down in the NFL since 2017.
And when you have
Keenan Allen.
And when you have a security blanket like Keenan Allen, you want to try and find him even when the pressure's on in the pocket. And we saw Justin Herbert, and we'll see it from Joe Burrow as well. Their ability to slide and move in the pocket while still looking downfield for open receivers and then delivering. Both of them carry that aspect of their games to a nice level.
And Herbert has an absolute cannon. Toss it. Trying to get Mike Williams involved, and he's chopped down. Couldn't break away. Loss of 1 on the play as Rougier read it well for Cincinnati.
And he made a heck of a play there in Los Angeles, going right back to the line of scrimmage quickly.
Quick snap. Play fake. Herbert. Deep ball downfield. It's caught. Williams rolls inside the 5. They get the big play early to a big target, Mike Williams for 41.
And it was a priority for the Chargers this week to find more opportunities for Mike Williams downfield. That part of their game has lessened in the last 4 or 5. They designed that well. Had the quick pass, line one up, and went back to him deep.
From the 4, Eckler gets back to the line of scrimmage. 2 Bengals there to greet him, Von Bell and Sam Hubbard. It'll be 2nd and goal for Los Angeles.
And Mike Williams does such a great job downfield, stretching out for footballs, using his size to go over the top of defensive backs. But don't think of that play as a one-play thing. Think of it as a 2-play sequence, the way it was designed. Joe Lombardi with the quick throw out, right back to the line of scrimmage before they could get set and hit them downfield with a big shot.
2nd and goal for the Chargers. Trying to strike first. Play fake, a dart, and it gets knocked away. Mike Williams would have been tackled short of the goal line either way. And now it's 3rd and goal.
2 big plays early by Rougier, sandwiched within between the big play downfield by Mike Williams over him. On those short throws, Rougier is on the spot helping you either keep it to a short gain or knock it away as he did there. Williams got him once with a pass downfield.
8th play of the drive going against this Lou Anarumo coach defense. Shotgun. Herbert floats in. Bobbled. Incomplete. Parham, the intended target. Mike Hilton pulling a Dikembe Mutombo. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, Dikembe did that from 7 feet tall, didn't he? Where he wagged the finger at people. Here's Mike Hilton at 5'9", channeling his inner Dikembe by going through the hands of Donald Parham and knocking that ball away.
And Charles,
by the veteran.
They're keeping the offense on the field.
Not unusual for this team all year long. They've been aggressive like this. This is part of their identity. I like what they're doing. They don't want to waste this opening drive.
Motion man, Guyton. 4th down. Hooks a pass. A fastball. Caught. Keenan Allen. Hot throw handled for the touchdown. That was a bullet.
So much conversation about how hard Justin Herbert throws the football and Keenan Allen. Remember, the Chargers are leading the league in dropped passes. And they asked Keenan Allen about it, and he said, I don't even play into that. It's my job to catch the ball. Remember before Philadelphia, what did he tell us? Extra time on the jugs machine.
Yes.
Turn up the speed. Make sure you get used to your quarterback. That one had everything on it, and Keenan Allen was up to the task.
And this drive reminds you of why the Chargers got everybody's attention early in the season. Extra point, no good. So the elation of the touchdown and then the miss by Dustin Hopkins. Chargers have to settle for a 6-0 lead. 9 plays, 55 yards. Herbert feels good about what this offense did to open things up.
Macy's Friends and Family is going on.
4-yard touchdown reception for Keenan Allen, capping off that 9-play, 55-yard drive. Mike Williams, these guys are the Beard brothers right now. Williams had the 41-yard reception, but the missed extra point by Hopkins. He is now 22 of 26 on extra points this season. Puka Williams just off the practice squad. He gets hit short of the 15. Spin move will get him across to the 16, and that's where Cincinnati will open up.
So let's go back to the touchdown and see how they got it on a 4th down play. Here's Keenan Allen. Obviously, there's the quarterback, but watch the route by Allen working inside, and then, of course, Justin Herbert's movement in the pocket to keep things going and allow him that extra opportunity. Look at that. Comes off of the, he looks left, comes off of his target left to come back right, and goes to the money man himself, Keenan Allen.
First play from scrimmage for Cincinnati today from the 16. Burrow with a short toss. It's handled by T. Higgins on the outside, immediately hit by Michael Davis on the play in a modest gain. Going to give him 5 yards with forward progress. Burrow, first 8 games, 2 or more touchdown passes in each of them. Last 3, he's come out and said, I'm just taking what the defense is giving me. He knows they're capable of big plays, but he also recognizes that defenses have adjusted.
Yeah, that's part of the maturation of the young quarterback, the maturation of this offense. Take the gains until the big opportunity opens up.
Mixon gets the call, redirects, and gets hammered by Tranquil. No gain on the play. Cincinnati offense comes in ranked 13th in the NFL. Changes as mentioned on the offensive line. No Trey Hopkins, so Trey Hill steps in. No Riley Reif, and Isaiah Prince mans that right tackle spot. This group of skill position players, extremely talented, and any one of those guys can beat you at any given time. Pirine in there on 3rd and 5. First possession of the day for Cincinnati. Burrow to the outside, handled nicely by Chase for a first down. Closing in on 1,000 yards in his rookie season. Jamar Chase came in with 906. Give him 12 on that first down catch.
Now, earlier in the year, he was getting downfield and making those big plays over the top. As teams have defended him differently, he's making an adjustment to his game as well, and we just saw it there. See how physical he was off the line of scrimmage? working inside, doesn't give up on the inside route, takes it back outside and completes it for a first down.
And obviously the reputation was him as a burner, but he is very competitive in traffic as well. He wants to be a great all-around receiver. 9.5 to go in his first quarter. Mixon, he's the type that will wear out a defense over the course of a game. He picks up 2 yards on the play. Defensively, that has been the issue for Los Angeles, stopping the run. And their head coach, Brandon Staley, believes with Justin Jones back now the last few weeks that there has been improvement in that area. In the secondary, dealing with the injury to Asante Samuel Jr., second concussion, no Alohi Gilman as well. Gilman sitting this one out, missing his 3rd straight game with a quad injury. 2nd down and 8. Uzama, the motion man. Burrow, deep drop. Burrow in some trouble. Ball gets knocked away. Nwosu was there defensively, and the Chargers take over. They forced the turnover, and it's Nwosu on the strip sack and recovery.
42 in white. Stays with it, and it really wasn't even his first move, it was his second move. He was trying to come inside on Burrow, can't get there, pushed outside. Look at him reach over the back and knock the ball out of the hands of Joe Burrow and then go and recover it. And they were fortunate because Joe Burrow had a deep crossing route downfield that I thought was open and couldn't get to it because of Nwosu's pass rush. And early in this game, Ian, they're mixing and matching the defensive front for the Chargers. They have their big guys out there on the rundowns. They bring in their pass rush guys on plays like that, and Nwosu gets home and creates a takeaway.
And a first down at the 30 of Cincinnati. It's Guyton. And that play is blown up by Hubbard. Brandon Staley, when we spoke with him the other day, Evan Washburn asked him, hey, what numbers do you look at to see where your team really is? He said explosive plays and takeaways. That's the blueprint in the NFL to see what kind of team you really are. So we get the explosive play with Williams, and then Staley mentioned, hey, look, we're 3rd in the NFL in forced fumbles, but we've only recovered 5 of them.
Now it's up to 14 forced fumbles, 6 recoveries.
Herbert trying to get out of trouble, slides down with a flag down as well. So we will hear from our referee, Sean Hockley, in his 4th year for the first time today. He's been with the NFL since 2014.
Holding. Offense, number 71. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Yeah, that is the veteran Matt Filer.
And this defensive front for the Cincinnati Bengals all year long has been a handful for offensive linemen. Filer, 71, working on 65 Ogunjobi. And right there, you see him grasping. You see both hands end up grasping the back. But Ogunjobi and DJ Reed are inside, 65 and 98 respectively. Hard to move in the running game. That allows Hendrickson and Hubbard to crash off the edges.
Line of scrimmage is now at the 40. Herbert over the middle, hauled in. It's Mike Williams, and he's spun down after the catch by Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton had a pick 6 last week against his former team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The first pick 6 of his life at any level. And he said he visualized it the whole week, doing it against his former team and doing it in that manner.
No better time, no better opportunity, and no better signal to the rest of the league that in this division, the AFC North, things may be changing. Now they have to continue to play well.
It's a dime package now for Cincinnati. 3rd and 16. Dump off. Eckler turns it upfield. Eckler comes up short of the first down, but now very much in field goal range for L.A. Logan Wilson with a tackle after the 9-yard catch and run.
And while the field goal unit trots on for Los Angeles, Cincinnati, they have to feel good about it. Just holding them to a field goal attempt. Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator, he tells his Bengals all the time, guys, doesn't matter where they take the ball, doesn't matter if they turn it over, we have to be like the fire department. We've got to put it out. And if they force a field goal attempt after that field position, that's part of being part of that fire department and doing their job.
Chargers have had 11 different kickers since 2014, the most in the NFL over that span. 43-yard attempt. Dustin Hopkins nails it. Los Angeles takes a 9-0 lead on Cincinnati. First quarter action continues from Paul Brown Stadium.
By by Taco Bell. Lincoln, this winter wish for the unexpected. And by Discover, exceptionally common sense.
Absolutely beautiful day here in Cincinnati. Chargers have a 9-0 lead on the Cincinnati Bengals, and Puka Williams Jr., rookie from Kansas, getting an opportunity as a kickoff return man. Did a little bit of that back in his collegiate days, Charles.
Yeah, 18 career kickoff returns to Kansas, 1 for touchdown. He was a pure running back for the Jayhawks, transitioning to receiver in the NFL.
This one placed well at the 5, and he is dropped at the 11. Yeah, that's one where you're forcing him into a decision at that point. Well, for this Cincinnati team, what a difference not just a year makes, 2 years make. Go back to 2019. They were 0-11 through 11 games. Last season, 2-8-1. What's been the difference? Well, Cincinnati, it's continuity more than anything else. When we talked to Zach Taylor, he mentioned the 3rd year, other situations he's been in, other coaching stops. The best teams he's been a part of, year 3 has been the breakthrough year. First down run, Nixon has nowhere to go initially, and the Chargers converge. 4 tacklers. Forward progress will get him 2. Adderley combining with Kaiser White on the stop.
Notice that Brandon Staley, the head coach who also calls defenses, and Ronaldo Hill is defensive coordinator, they're doing a nice mix and match with their defensive front, meaning they're bringing in Braden Fajoka, Joe Gaziano as run stoppers on downs they think they're going to run the football. When it's time to throw the ball, they're going to bring in more of their pass rush guys like Jerry Tillery and Justin Jones.
Shotgun here for Burrow. They fake the jet sweep. They give it to Mixon. This time he's got some room. Flag down as he got wrestled down across the 20. 7-yard gain. The penalty marker came from the backside.
Holding. Offense, number 63. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Replay, 2nd down.
That is Trey Hill, the rookie out of Georgia. NFL Today update. JB and the former Bengal legend, Boomer Esiason.
Mr. Cordero set this one up, boom.
Well, thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. That's Mike Davis, 17 yards. Tom Brady started this game 12 of 15, 100 yards and a TD. Atlanta ties it up. Let's go back to Cincinnati. Ian, Charles, and Evan.
And Boomer, we have photos that we can use at any time. At any moment, we can bring them in. Older photos.
Legendary photos.
Burrow throws underneath. And the ball popped free. Jamar Chase. They're going to rule it incomplete. Michael Davis there with the stick.
It's early in this ball game, but the sense that I'm getting right now is this Chargers team a step ahead. They're a step quicker right now. The way they came out of the gates, this Bengals team needs something good to happen, kind of shake off a little bit of what's happening with them right now. 2 different guys in the offensive line, Trey Hill at center, Isaiah Prince at right tackle, replacing Riley Reith at tackle, and Trey Hopkins. They've got to get some things moving on that O-line right now.
Bengals currently would be the number 5 seed in the AFC at 7-4. They face a 3rd and 14. Burrow, deep shot, is caught by Higgins. First down. The options that he has between Chase and Higgins and Boyd and Uzama, who has played a role at different parts of this season.
And they needed this play, didn't they? Just talking about how the Chargers may be a step ahead here in the early going. They need a play to get them going, maybe kick-started a little bit. Trey Hopkins, the second-year receiver, T. Higgins, the second-year receiver out of Clemson. He provides it with that nice route, 21 yards downfield.
3 receiver set, that's 11 personnel. They do that 74% of the time. That's second highest in the NFL behind the Rams, who are at a whopping 88%. Burrow, downfield, Chase bobbles, intercepted. Michael Davis in the right spot. Chase thought he had a touchdown, and instead it's a turnover. What a sequence for the Chargers.
This is the 8th drop of the year for Jamar Chase, who was probably thinking end zone as soon as the ball hit his hands, and he popped it up for Michael Davis.
2 drives, 2 turnovers for Cincinnati.
This holiday.
Fluctuating emotions. Michael Davis got beat on the play, yet comes away with the INT.
Well, you never give up on anything.
Herbert loading up, showing off the arm. Jump ball, Mike Williams with the grab. The box out and catch for Williams against Mike Hilton. And Hilton was giving up a whole lot of size.
I love your observational skills, because when that route began, Williams was outside, Hilton was inside. But downfield, Williams reversed the equation and did exactly as you described. He boxed out Mike Hilton, and Justin Herbert understands with his receiver, his size is going to win more times than not. Give him a chance. And he put it up there and gave it to him.
6'4" against 5'9" for 47 yards. Catch made underneath, and ridden down is Parham on the play. They pick up 6 yards out on the perimeter. We send it down to Evan.
Well, guys, easy to hindsight 2020 this, but it felt like when we spoke with Justin Herbert that they wanted to get Mike Williams involved, because we commented on the fact that Mike Williams is so patient. There'll be stretches in a game where he doesn't see a target, doesn't see a ball, and he makes that big play in the 3rd or 4th quarter. Look back to that Eagles game. Now he's doing it in the 1st.
You're exactly right about that, Evan. And it was a concerted effort this week to dial up plays downfield and not get spooked by a pass rush. A little extra protection to give Mike Williams a chance.
2nd down and 4. Herbert sees the opening, slides at the 15-yard line. When we asked Mike Williams about it, he said, look, I just try to remain ready for every situation. Of course, I like the deep stuff, but I know that teams are keying in on it, so you don't want to force it.
Yeah, and I love how he said it to us. And what he didn't say is, I hope they understand I'm ready all the time. We can do more, you know? And what they've done this year as well is expanded his game, where it's not just what we've seen so far. The deep passes downfield with the jump balls. He started to catch a little more of the shorter and intermediate routes and making plays that way as well.
1st down inside the 15. Chargers looking for more. Guyton, the motion man. Handoff. Eckler up the middle, rumbling through defenders. He lost the ball. Bengals have it. Do the officials agree?
Was he down is going to be the big question, because that was a delayed reaction on that ball popping out. That's what the officials have to determine.
Logan Wilson there defensively.
Rolling on the field as the runner was down by contact. It's 2nd down.
There's the knee down right there. I think they've got it. I think that knee is down, and that play should be dead there, even though the ball came out, as we see Joey Bosa going to the locker room to get some attention.
Bosa has been on a hot streak at his 4th strip sack of the season last week, which leads the NFL. Shotgun. Wide open. Keenan Allen. Touchdown. Herbert with a strike. And Allen's got his 2nd of the day.
You hear all the time about the RPOs, run-pass options. They've got it here because they bid in on the run. And the secondary, they came up, took up the field to try and prevent that. And Keenan Allen sifted behind them, wide open, and Justin Herbert delivers.
It's not a great sign when the back judge is the closest person to the receiver.
The back judge was more open than Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Either way, Herbert had options there.
Either way, he was going to get 6 out of it.
Hopkins on for the extra point, and this time he knocks it through. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are in a 16-0 hole here in the 1st.
I just wish more people.
The Chargers very sharp in this opening quarter. Another touchdown, Herbert to Allen. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they allowed just 301 yards of offense in the victory over Pittsburgh last week. They've already given up 142 in the opening quarter. Return man is Williams. Splits special teamers. Breaks the tackle. Spin. Won't go out of bounds. And finally hit just short of the 30-yard line.
So they just scored again, did the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's see how they got it done. Take a look at, here's Keenan Allen. Here is Jesse Bates. But watch what happens with Bates. His vision is here, but the route is here. And not only did he have his vision there, his vision brought him upfield. And Keenan Allen able to slip in behind him for the touchdown.
Joe Burrow will operate from the gun. His team trailing 16-0. Burrow throw, catch made, tight end Uzama breaks the tackle and drives across the 34, 3 yards. Brought down by Kaiser White. For the LA Chargers, most points in the first quarter since September of 2012. Brandon Staley, back in 2012, he was nowhere near an NFL radar. In fact, he was coaching Division III football as recently as 2016.
Back at Mount Union.
From the 31. Mixon the carry, and they have bottled him up so far. Limited to a gain of 1 on the play.
The defensive front of this Los Angeles Chargers team has had a lot of grief about people being able to run the football. And so far today, they've done an excellent job of keeping Joe Mixon in the gaps, keeping him right back in that little cup that you have when you hand the football to him in the middle of the line of scrimmage. Brandon Staley said, we've got to make sure that 3-yard gains stay 3-yard gains. They can't be 3 yards contact and leak into 6 or more.
The rookie Chris Rumpf is in there for Joey Bosa, who we saw walk back to the locker room. They're down in 6, final seconds of this opening quarter. They snap it. Burrow gets rid of it. Catch. First down. Jamar Chase. Flag down. Penalty marker back at the 25. Nasir Adderley with a hit on Joe Burrow. John Hockley.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense number 75. This is a 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Wow.
This is the end of the first quarter.
So the 2 replacement offensive linemen, Trey Hill at center, 63, Isaiah Prince, 75 at tackle. Both have drawn penalties here in the first quarter.
And we head to the second quarter. Week 13.
This is Antonelli's Cheese Shop, and
on Paramount Plus.
We start the second quarter here in Cincinnati. The Chargers 16, the Bengals nothing. Cincinnati fewest penalties and penalty yards this season. They've had a couple of costly ones already in this first half. Would have been a first down on the final play of the quarter. Instead, 3rd and 16. Aaron snap. Burrow recovers. Rainbow is incomplete, looking for T. Higgins. And the Bengals will punt.
And Brandon Staley as the play caller on defense, along with Ronaldo Hill, their defensive coordinator, showing a lot of different looks now. And I don't think this is as much for Joe Burrow, Ian, as it is for this offensive line that's been retooled. They want to try and confuse the blocking schemes with a new center and a new right tackle. And if just one guy misses an assignment, you get a free runner towards the quarterback.
13-year veteran Kevin Huber will punt it. Andre Roberts standing at his own 29. Not much of a rush. Sailing kick. Flag down. Roberts tries to book it to the outside. Gets an angle and veers out of bounds. That penalty marker, though, thrown along the near sideline. And an injured Bengal on the kick. 50-yard punt, 15-yard return. Logan Wilson, important part of the Cincinnati defense, banged up.
He's their signal caller, and he's really had a breakout season so far. 4 interceptions already for the middle linebacker.
So we're waiting on the penalty. The hat came off.
During the kick, unsportsmanlike conduct by the kicking team number 17. He did not come back in bounds immediately after being out of bounds. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. It's first down.
Thus the hat that you noted. When the hat comes off by an official, that means someone's over the sideline running downfield. Now, when you do it, you have to get right back in. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Penalty against Stanley Morgan will step aside here in the second.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit.
CBS.
Linebacker Logan Wilson being carted off. He's had a terrific season in his second year from Wyoming. Meanwhile, look where the Chargers open up. Herbert dealing too high. He had Keenan Allen streaking down the sideline open. Incomplete.
And this is why this part of the reason they have such good field position is because right here is Stanley Morgan, and he's the gunner, and he's being double teamed. Now he goes out of the sideline, but you got to get right back into the field of play. You got to get into the green and reestablish. If you run downfield in the white or outside the white, that's a penalty because they can't block you in that spot. That's the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and that's why they gain the additional yardage.
Joe Bocci is in there right now for Cincinnati at the linebacker position. 2nd down and 10. Hand off to Eckler. Drives it across the 40-for-3. Hit by Jermaine Pratt. Downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Guys, 2 key injuries on both sides right now. You mentioned Joey Bosa. He remains in the locker room being evaluated for a concussion. And Tyler Boyd for the Bengals, he's in the locker room receiving IV treatment. His return, though, is doubtful.
Well, that's a tough one, losing Boyd as their slot receiver as they try and mount a comeback. Bosa 2 concussions last season, something he dealt with then.
Joshua Kelly is in there on 3rd down and 7. Operating from the gun, Herbert. Gets out of there. Herbert buys time. Home run ball. Incomplete. Cincinnati with Eli Apple dealing with Allen and Parham. Both receivers had a shot.
And Parham checks in at 6'8". So that's an excellent job of Eli Apple, number 20, going up there to play the football. Got some help on the opposite side from Mike Hilton, 21, but Apple was the primary guy to go up at 6'1" to deal with the 6'8" Donald Parham.
First punt of the day for Ty Long, averaging just under 48 yards per kick, with a big differential in his net. It's a different alignment for LA. It works. Allows Long to try to place it inside the 5. Cannot. Bounces in the end zone, coming out to the 20-yard line for Cincinnati. 39-yard punt, but a net of 19. Chargers maintain the 16-0 lead over the Bengals.
Get more done. AWS. AWS is how the NFL can stat that. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This city has been energized. Congratulations, the Cincinnati Bearcats football team, 13-0, part of the college football playoff, undefeated, and a chance to make some history.
Well deserved. They've earned their opportunity to be in that
playoff. Spin move, Joe Mixon has nowhere to go. Kaiser White helping to lead the charge for the Chargers. Justin Jones, first man there. It's a loss of 5.
This is not the 32nd ranked run defense all year that we're seeing today. Look how they stay square to line of scrimmage, get early penetration. And Joe Mixon, as we showed you at the top of the show, is an excellent cutback runner. They took away the cutback lane. He had nowhere to go. Again, look at the penetration by the defensive front. And look at the number of white shirts and white helmets around the football. We just saw it again on that first down run.
Mixon has 8 straight games with a touchdown. Burrow darts it underneath, caught by Uzama. And they'll whistle him down at the 22-yard line. So they pick up 7. It's going to set up 3rd down now for Cincinnati.
You know what I'm seeing a lot of in this game? With all the basketball you do with a big-time score, Ryan, when a guy's trying to defend him or a woman's trying to defend another big-time score, what do the coaches want? They want you on that person on the catch of the ball, right? When they catch it coming off a cut or a curl or a screen. That's what I'm seeing with the defense here from the Chargers. Ball's caught, they're right on them on the catch, not permitting yards after.
Nickel package for LA, a 3rd and 8 for Cincinnati. Burrow in trouble, slammed down at the 15-yard line. Justin Jones gets home.
And their mixing and matching of the defensive front continues, and they're playing to their strengths. Justin Jones, a much better pass rusher right in the middle, working against Trey Hill, the rookie center, And with the patience of the secondary, meaning the secondary eating up receivers downfield, that allowed Justin Jones on a second and third move to get home against Joe Burrow and drop him.
And another opportunity here for Andre Roberts off the foot of Huber. This one bounces and does take a Cincinnati roll into the breadbasket. Roberts gets hit at the 44-yard line, then driven back by Stanley Morgan. 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. Chargers doing everything right. We're back in 30 seconds after this from Walmart.
All right, everybody stand up straight. Okay, now let me flip it.
Rough start here for the Cincinnati Bengals. Chargers leading it 16-0. Chargers 145 yards of offense. Bengals have been limited to 37. Joe Mixon has 6 carries for 2 yards.
That bodes well, not just the holding down Mixon, but the ball control for the Chargers. In the games they've lost this year, teams have had time of possession 10 minutes or more than the Chargers have had.
Single setback. Eckler slicing across midfield, just keeping the legs churning. Got him extra yards for 9. Von Bell, the tackle.
And they got it on the right side of their offensive line, considered the weaker side of their offensive line. Michael Schofield, 72. Storm Norton, 74. Gets him help. It looked like Donald Parham, 89 at tight end. And Eckler after contact. Joe Mixon, he averages over 3 yards after contact. Austin Eckler did a Joe Mixon imitation there and got about 5 more.
Justin Jackson in there on a 2nd down and 1. Jackson, stutter step, drives for the first down. Brought down by Trey Hendrickson. They'll move the chains, and we'll send it to New York. Boomer Esiason.
All righty, Ian. Zach Wilson having quite a day thus far. 11 of 13, 103 yards. This is his 2nd touchdown pass. They've missed 2 extra points. They went for 2. They missed that. They now lead the Philadelphia Eagles 18-14. Back to you guys in Cincinnati.
Boomer, Nate Burleson made the point during the NFL Today. Wilson's numbers have been actually pretty good in the second half. Got to get off to a better start, settle down, and he's obviously done that so far for New York. Fake the handoff. Herbert's got time. Herbert, end zone, battle, caught, touchdown, Guyton. Justin Herbert, a howitzer of an arm in a matchup with Jesse Bates. 44 yards.
Pass interference. Defense number 30. This penalty's declined as a result of the play is a touchdown.
Did you just use the word howitzer? I love it because you described it perfectly. That play call is not in everyone's playbook in the NFL. You have to have a person with the arm of a Justin Herbert, and even then, Jalen Guyton had to come back to make a play on the football. When he came back, he forced Jesse Bates into the pass interference, and then he out-wrestled Jesse Bates for the ball downfield. But that play, that can't be in every playbook because not many quarterbacks can make that throw.
Justin Herbert now has 27 touchdowns on the season. Guyton's first, and now LA will go for 2, up 22-0. Trickery. Allen to throw it. On time to Herbert. The connection made. And this has been a clinic.
So here's the touchdown. Watch how Guyton battles Jesse Bates, takes it from him, and scores. And then the Los Angeles Chargers, it doesn't have to be in Philadelphia to make this work. It's the LA special.
It's not 1,000 lights twinkling. That
Justin Herbert is putting on a show. 11 of 15, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. The Chargers have run 23 plays. They have scored 24 points. And they have shut out the Bengals so far.
Remember, this Bengals staff coached Justin Herbert in the Senior Bowl. It's probably got a little bit of that, you could have picked me.
And that's where eventually he met Joe Burrow as they prepared for the NFL draft. This week, NFL players are wearing custom cleats in honor of the causes they support through My Cause, My Cleats. Text MCMC to 635635 to hear the players' stories, bid on their custom cleats for charity, and learn more about how they're making a difference in their communities. Joe Burrow's cause is the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund, designed to make a difference in food insecurity across Southeast Ohio for generations to come.
Done a sensational job with that already.
Joe Mixon carries a tackler or two with him to the 30-yard line, down to Evan.
And guys, how cool is it that the design on those cleats was inspired by an art class at his old high school, Athens High School. It was actually designed last year. He couldn't play in this game due to his knee injury, but he kept the theme for this year's version of the cleats. And look, he could use some of that Athens High School magic right now.
Certainly could. Remember, this all started with his speech when he won the Heisman Trophy, where he put a spotlight on the food insecurities and the hunger in his area. And it started then and continues to this day with his help.
Got a good sign. Tyler Boyd is back in there. Burrow tossing it, sliding attempt, and it's incomplete. Boyd, the intended receiver, 3rd and 4 for Cincinnati. What has to change here for the Bengals?
They seem a little off kilter. So what you want to do in a normal situation, if your offensive line is intact, you make sure Joe Mixon touches the ball and get yourself back to balance. I think they're a little worried and concerned with what's happening with the offensive front because they've been getting dominated by the defensive line of the Chargers. So they're putting the ball in Joe Mixon's hands right now. But they're off kilter a little. Did you see on that last play, Joe Mixon faked to someone? There was no one there to fake. Joe Mixon was off on the other side. So they're off by a hair right now, trying to find their way back.
Bengals have won 2 in a row. They haven't won 3 in a row since 2015. Burrow, wide open. Tyler Boyd, big gain for Boyd. Into LA territory, brought down inside the 40 by Derwin James, just looking for something to get them untracked.
Remember, earlier in the game, they were worried about Tyler Boyd and his availability the rest of the way. Evan Washburn reported he'd gotten an IV. Well, the IV worked. They get to him on 3rd down, 32 big yards, and a play that they desperately needed to move the ball on offense.
Extra offensive lineman, Jackson Carman in. Joe Mixon, single setback. Still have 8:48 to play in this first half. There's a hole. Mixon brought down from behind inside the 30 by Adderley. But the first time we actually saw him get to a sprint,
Offense number
and
63.
a flag hold
It's
is
a 10-yard
called.
penalty. Replay, first down.
And boy, they had it set up perfectly, too. The penalty took away a heck of a game.
8:41.
Off of a nice formation. They had 5 to one side, all on the offensive line for Zach Taylor's troops. And then Joe Mixon was able to read the backside, where he got 2 good blocks from the 2 on the left side to get into the secondary.
So now it's 1st and 20. It'll make it 1st and 18. The penalty numbers out of whack for Cincinnati. This is not something that they've dealt with a whole lot this season. Burrow drops back and hits Tyler Boyd over the middle. It's going to be short of a first down. They pick up 16 on the play.
Talk with Brian Callahan, the offense coordinator, Troy Walters, wide receivers coach, and they talk about the leadership that Tyler Boyd provides this wide receivers room. It started when A.J. Green was here. Tyler Boyd has picked up the mantle since then. Not only is he providing the leadership in the room, now he's providing it on the field when his team's down 24 and needs a score.
2nd down and 2. Uzama in motion. Burrow. End zone. Oh, what a grab! Higgins! Touchdown, Cincinnati! The Bengals are on the board.
Last week, he threw one up for T. Higgins because he knew he could go and get it. He did it again on this play. This is, again, a demonstration of quarterbacks understanding their receivers, understanding their strengths, and having the confidence to give them a chance to go up and get the football over the top of everyone else. Last week it was Higgins against Pittsburgh in the end zone. This week against the Chargers.
And it looks like Cincinnati's going to go for 2 here.
Timeout. Cincinnati.
So timeout called by Cincinnati.
Look at right between. There's Adderley coming over and Davis, but neither one of them is really in a position to make a play on the ball because Higgins has won the route so thoroughly. And what Joe Burrow did intelligently enough was put the ball up there and say, go get it, number 85. No matter who competes with you for the football, I know you'll come down with it.
That 2020 draft class of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. How about going for 2 here?
Well, I think that for them, you know, I'm not as great on analytics as I should be, right? I'm still trying to learn them along the way. But I think that for Cincinnati, they're feeling like trying to chop down the number of scores later on, now that the offense is clicking, is what they're trying to do. A lot of people call this chasing points. In today's world, this is normal.
24 points for the Chargers. That would be 3-8 for Cincinnati, but there's so much more game to go. And frustration. Joe Mixon was upset. Flag thrown on the play.
Delay of game. Offense. The offense will have the choice to take this 5-yard penalty from the 2 to the 7. However, they've decided to take it from the 15 to the 20 and kick for 1.
So there you go. That changes your decision making at that point when the numbers don't favor you. Back the ball up and send out your kicker, Evan McPherson. And that was out of a timeout.
Yeah, and they got confused out of that one, and just everything just a little discombobulated. Now they've got to make sure McPherson puts the ball through the post. Get something out of this.
McPherson 34 of 35 on point after this season. And of course, he pushed it wide. That whole sequence will not be sent to Canton anytime soon. 24-6. The good news for Cincinnati, you have points. The bad news is the sour taste you have in your mouth after scoring those points.
This flag isn't back.
Football's iconic show, Inside the NFL, streaming Tuesdays at 9:30 on Paramount+. Cincinnati goes 6 plays, 75 yards. They get the touchdown to Higgins. They thought about going for 2, take the penalty. They missed the extra point, and they trail 24-6. Roberts is going to take it out of the end zone. Roberts hit as he crossed the 20-yard line for L.A. by Williams.
Justin Herbert off to a tremendous start in this game. That was a 4th down throw to Keenan Allen for a touchdown. A little RPO run pass option hits Keenan Allen for another one, and then on a throwback all the way across the field, Jalen Guyton with excellent concentration and was a little more physical than Jesse Bates. Comes down with the football for a 3rd touchdown for Justin Herbert.
Herbert having a whale of a first half. Last week against Denver, Chargers couldn't run the football effectively. Herbert dealt with a lot of pressure against the Broncos front. First down, Herbert steps, delivers, catch made, Jared Cook. And the tight end has got a first down just short of the 45. These guys are open by a lot.
Yeah, the play fake in the backfield helped freeze everyone on a first down. And then he's able to find Jared Cook and throwing the ball with a lot of confidence. And Cook turns his body back and pulls it down.
7 minutes to play, first half.
Hey, chill.
Justin Jackson in there on first down for Los Angeles. Chargers on the move once again. Fake the running play. Herbert deals it underneath for Jackson, who turns it upfield and crosses into Cincinnati territory, hit by the combination of Hendrickson and Bocci, who has stepped in for the injured Logan Wilson.
That throw there, no one's going to go home and rave about it, but that was maturity right there. He was looking downfield. He wanted the throws that were going to be 20 to 30 yards downfield. They weren't there. Teams have been taking some of those away from them. See the next step in his development? Okay, what's open in front of me? Check it down, get it to my receiver, gain good yardage.
2nd and 3, they press the line. Instead, they come back with Eckler, and he gets brought down by Pratt. Ran right into him for no gain.
How about that play design? It was a toss, and you expect that to go to the boundary. But what they're trying to do is get the defense to take a step in that direction and then have your blockers aligned to give a cutback lane for Eckler. And it didn't materialize. Defensive front for the Bengals didn't tumble for it.
Bengals need a stop in a big way. 3rd down and 3 for Los Angeles. Eckler will shift to the backfield. They'll go pistol here. Play clock down to 2. Herbert to throw it to a spot and makes the connection. Jared Cook. 1st down, Los Angeles.
He threw that one so that if Jared Cook couldn't catch it, it would just stick in the middle of his body. I mean, he rifled that one in there. So, Jared, either catch it with your hands or don't worry, between the 8 and the 7, the ball's going to make an imprint and stay there.
Charles, Justin Herbert is 14 of 18, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. 7 different receivers have caught at least 1 pass for LA. First down run. Jackson tried to accelerate and held to a gain of 2. Herbert, Burrow, everybody felt coming out of the draft these 2 guys could have a major impact in the NFL. They've just done it very quickly.
And they certainly have, and their teams are asking different things from them, and they're both producing.
Herbert uncorks. Allen wanted a flag. Incomplete in a matchup with Eli Apple.
And he's extremely unhappy that the flag doesn't come out. Apple comes back to him, and you see why. Look at the hands down below, on the hips, on the jersey. I think the official's trying to say, hey, he didn't spin you, he didn't turn you, he just put his hands on you. That was the determination of the official in the area, I believe.
3rd and 8 for the Chargers. 4:22 to go, first half. Working from the gun, Herbert. Step. Herbert, check down, catch made. Eckler short and loses the ball. Jesse Bates comes out of there with it. And he's tackled by Herbert in the open field. He just saved a touchdown. The Chargers cough it up on this hit. And Eckler loses it, falling to the ground. And it just worked as a gift for Jesse Bates.
Is that Vernon Hargraves, 29, with the initial hit?
Yes.
That moved the ball to start it all off. And look at Justin Herbert, a full football player, similar to Joe Burrow last week taking on T.J. Watt. Herbert says, I'm not giving up the 3 points for my team. You're going to have to earn them on offense. There's Austin Eckler fighting for extra yardage, coughs it up, and puts his team in jeopardy. There's Hargraves, 29. There's the initial hit. The ball starts to move there. And then raking it is Jermaine Pratt, 57. And now he pops it in the air with his right hand, and Jesse Bates is on the spot for the grab, and off he goes. See, the ball's already starting to move by Hargraves' hit. That's why this ball went the other way, and that's why it should stand.
All turnovers are reviewed, as we know. They were looking at both angles of Eckler as he was falling. The initial shot was his derriere ending up on the ground, but the other angle showed that his knee was just about on the ground. But you mentioned it, that ball was shifting in his hands.
He had possession, quote unquote, as he was going to the ground, but because the shifting had already started, now the sequence has begun. The ball's in play. That's why. Right there's Hargraves. So once the ball starts to move there, and now Pratt's still moving it before he gets to the ground, that allows it a free play.
Is under further review.
So the play is under further review. And we will step aside with the final decision. Will Cincinnati have possession? We'll find out when we come back.
Don't forget, gifts for the kids.
Bye.
Yes. A new United States of Al, Thursday on CBS.
The ruling on the field stands. It is a turnover. Cincinnati takes over after the fumble by Eckler. Line of scrimmage is the 19. Flags down. And the play ruled dead. Jerry Tillery on the jump. Joe Burrow wanted a free play.
Yeah, and they blew it dead because it became a free guy towards
to the
him.
Quarterback, defense number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Yeah, they shut that down for safety for Joe Burrow. But again, as we talk about, Hargraves 29, Pratt 57 working in tandem. Hargraves for initial hit started the ball moving to me. Pratt did more work with it as he wrenched it with his left arm, and the ball's moving before Eckler hits the ground. And that continued the play with Bates getting the ball popped in the air and then returned.
And how many quarterbacks are going to make that tackle, saving the touchdown like Justin Herbert did? Handoff to Joe Mixon, going back to his Pop Warner days on the chase down of Bates.
It's actually an excellent question, and this is the spot here in Cincinnati where maybe their playoff hopes died when not died, but they got to play. But remember Andy Dalton making a tackle and hurting his thumb?
Number 7
and was never quite the same after that. So it's the big debate about a lot of teams. Do you want your quarterback involved at all? Justin Herbert said he didn't care what you said. I'm involved to help my team.
Jackson Carman in, extra offensive lineman. This is first and goal for Cincinnati with 3.5 to go, second quarter. Give it to Mixon. Lowers his shoulder, met by Jerry Tillery after the pickup of 2.
How you like that offensive set, Ian? You see all those linemen on the right side? Had about 5 over there. First time I saw that set was in college, Wisconsin, the barge formation they called it. Matt Canada was the offensive coordinator. Joe Mixon loves those kind of sets because all he wants is for you to get a stalemate with a defender and give himself a chance to get upfield.
You said the barge?
The barge.
Not the 80s group, the barge.
No, not the barge, not L, not any of them. Just the barge.
Second and goal for Cincinnati. Burrow steps up, runs for the touchdown. Joe Burrow, he trusts that knee. He's built up to it this season coming off the surgery. And we've now seen this a bit more often. Burrow taking matters into his own hands for the score.
The more I watch him play, the more I'm convinced that he is like someone else who played in a different sport, and that person is Wayne Gretzky. And the reason I say that is he sees things happen or anticipates or sees the future like Gretzky saw when he was out there puck handling. He saw it before it all went down and was 2 steps ahead. Burrow reminds me of him in many ways.
Evan McPherson, somehow that one curved through. We're back after this 30-second stoppage.
It is time for the final question. Who is offered the Rogers rate? Jake from State Farm? Basically anyone? Sorry, buddy, that's incorrect.
See? We offer great rates that fit anyone's budget.
That's enough. Thank you very much. Jessica in the middle. You said me? No. Sorry. What are we doing? Whatever. Also me. Great LOL. That was really important. Of course. Everybody gets the rates, I guess.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Joe Burrow, the touchdown run. He had some issue with his finger. Looked like the pinky on the right hand as he made his way to the sideline.
He popped out a glove when he got to the sideline as well.
So Burrow with a touchdown through the air and 1 on the ground. Second rushing touchdown of the season. Had one last week in that blowout win against Pittsburgh. Roberts will take it out from the goal line. Roberts slowed down and was fortunate that he held onto the football as they were scraping at it. Trey Flowers. Saturday, 3 Eastern on CBS. College football regular season concludes one of the oldest and most respected rivalries in all of sports. The annual Army-Navy game, live coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern with College Football Today, a game of honor. Army versus Navy Saturday on CBS.
Everybody wins in that game, right? Except for if you're playing for Army or Navy. Because it's a big deal.
It is.
It's a big deal. Jeff Monken, the head coach at Army, go way back with him. He's done a heck of a job turning around that series.
Taping up the right pinky of Burrow. Herbert now goes to work. Leads his receiver, Guyton, who gets stood up at the 39. First down, Los Angeles. Clock is rolling. 2:22 left in this second quarter. That covers 12 yards.
And if you're Los Angeles, you like the fact that you're seeing Guyton get involved. They're trying to figure out who their third receiver is behind Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Who's going to take charge of that spot? Guyton here in the first half making a claim for it.
Undrafted free agent out of North Texas. Eckler gets the call. And a 5-yard pickup for Eckler as we hit the 2-minute warning. 24-13. Chargers in front.
We raise the bar on bar food with sandwiches, tenders, and...
Fell on CBS is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings, to the greatest of all times, and by Macy's. Give, love, believe.
38th all-time meeting between these two teams. Chargers 22-15 against Cincinnati. Joey Bosa back on the sideline for LA. Shotgun for Herbert on 2nd and 5. Waits and throws. Hooks up with Keenan Allen. Out of bounds for a first down. Covers 7. Down to Evan.
Well, guys, Joe Burrow is clearly working on something with that right pinky finger. He's on his second version of a tape job on that pinky. Brandon Allen, some warm-up throws here. Ooh, grimacing. If you've got a camera on him right now, some frustration with Burrow. Every other throw, he's making a face of frustration and some pain every time the athletic trainers make their way over. We'll keep a close eye on it. We know toughness is going to be a big part of this thing.
No doubt. He took that white tape that was on it, wrapped it up, and tossed it into the garbage. Herbert gets sacked by Ogunjobi. Cincinnati starting to gain some steam here. 1:44 to go, first half.
Watch in the middle, 65 in black, Ogunjobi. He works on Filer's 71. Excellent job with his hands going past him to get to Justin Herbert.
A loss of 9 on the play and a timeout call.
Timeout, Cincinnati. Their second 30-second timeout.
Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cower, all the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
As Evan described, there's Joe Burrow on the sidelines trying to get right with his hand, and this is earlier as Evan was talking. That's the grimace and pain that he described. Joe Burrow trying to figure out what he can do throwing the ball.
And guys, he wants nothing to do with tape on that pinky. He just took the black tape off, so part of this is grip, as you guys well know.
Yeah, the grip wasn't very good right there.
What's going to be tough for him is when he goes to drive a football. Does the pain kick in and make it flutter and make it die? How much can he handle throwing it downfield?
The backup quarterback is Brandon Allen, if they need him. Meanwhile, LA faces a 2nd and 19. Herbert pump. Herbert sacked again. The Bengals get B.J. Hill and Sam Hubbard into the pocket.
In the last 2 plays, the pressure's really been the big guys. B.J. Hill, who works inside most of the time. Larry Ogunjobi on the previous one. And the reason Herbert ended up taking that sack was he wanted to throw the ball, then he saw the coverage. Didn't want to put the ball in harm's way, ends up pulling it back, and B.J. Hill gets to it.
Bengals have used their final timeout. We have 1:26 remaining. Cincinnati was a little late to the party here today. But a good bounce back here from the Bengals as Allen comes over to check on Burrow.
Look at where they're playing back, trying to concede that space, but nothing behind them.
3rd and 25. Herbert. A The pick made by Awuzie. And he takes it back to the 44. So the Chargers do take a chance on a deep shot from Herbert, and the Bengals make them pay.
And initially, he was behind him. Josh Palmer's behind Awuzie, but he doesn't give up on the play. Goes back to the eyes and the hands of Josh Palmer. See how he plays through him, turns his head back, and fights him for the football and takes it away. So they had played coverage where they were back to concede everything in front, nothing behind. Palmer behind anyway. Herbert gives him a chance, and Awuzie's determination and staying with it snatches the football away.
Couple things here, Charles. They ruled him down, so they're going to have it at the 12-yard line. In addition, Awuzie banged up on the play. And then the play selection, if you run the football there, you use 40 seconds of clock. Cincinnati has no timeouts remaining. So instead of having a minute 19 left, Chargers would have punted and probably gotten the Bengals in the same spot with about 35, 40 seconds left.
Makes sense, absolutely, but they trusted their quarterback to make a play there downfield, and everything happened except the defensive back made a better play, taken away from Josh Palmer.
Tyler Boyd on the receiving end catches it across the 15, matched up with Tavon Campbell, and now we're just going to keep an eye on Burrow and his grip.
How about just a quarterback-center exchange? He cannot leave a finger down there and have that ball come up and hit it. How much can he handle when that ball comes up from Trey Hill? We'll see if they operate more out of shotgun than having him under center with the hand being what it is.
It is the right pinky of Burrow. Outside toss. Fantastic catch by Higgins. First down.
How about the confidence Joe Burrow will get from that throw with the pinky being damaged? Being able to make that throw there has to help him in his mind that he was able to get one out there and put it on his receiver.
Better rhythm offensively in the second quarter from Cincinnati, trailing 24-13. Shotgun Burrow. Fires it offline. Looking for Uzama, incomplete. 1:05 to play, first half.
Now, the easy thing is to say that one was offline. Was it the pinky? Did that affect it? How about the pass rush from the Chargers as well? Look at Adeniji being pushed back by Uchenna Nwosu right back into Joe Burrow. And there he is trying to keep the finger okay, enough so that he can make some plays.
Once again from the gun. Nickel package here for Los Angeles, 2nd and 10. Running play, P-Ryan. Big gain. Rumbles across the 40-yard line for 17. We are under a minute left. Cincinnati cannot stop the clock unless they spike the ball.
Let them get through, and then look who's leading. Trey Hill, 63. Tyler Boyd, 83. Big blocks downfield.
Down to 42 seconds left. Burrow in trouble. Launches it ahead for P-Ryan. And on that forward pitch for no gain. We're down to 28 seconds left. Looked like Burrow tossed that one with the left hand. 2nd and 10. Burrow, short throw, catch P-Ryan. And hit down low by Tranquil.
He's trying to get him up there for the spike, trying to clock it.
6 seconds, 5 seconds. And Burrow, nothing happened. Never took the snap, never ran a play. Verizon halftime report coming up. JB and the gang, scores and highlights on the Verizon halftime report. That's it. First half complete here in Cincinnati. The Chargers in front, 24-13 on the Bengals. End of the first half. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon. And a word from your local station.
This holiday, Verizon has the deal that gets better and better and better.
Get iPhone 13 Pro on us when you trade in your old or damaged phone.
Here, the phone everyone wants on America's most reliable network. Better? Better. That's not all. The new iPhone and up to 7 entertainment subscriptions for your family, like Apple Music, Apple Arcade, and more. Better? Better. Not done. The new iPhone, the entertainment, and up to $1,000 when you switch. This year.
24-13. Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn down on the sidelines. This game was going in one very specific direction, then took a turn. Cincinnati rallied to make a game of it at the end of the first half. But the concern right now is for Joe Burrow and that right pinky, clearly in some pain. He tried tape. He took that off. He's put a glove on. He's tried to get a feel for that with the glove.
Changing gloves now. He went from one glove to another, so he's going to try everything to make sure he has feel of the football. We know Teddy Bridgewater plays all of his games with gloves on, so some people that's better for them. That's not what Joe Burrow does, so that'll be a change. And the bigger one for me, how far can he throw the ball downfield without the ball dying on him because of the pain in the hand? That's something that has to be answered.
You clearly like it without the glove.
I'm a without the glove guy. But as we get a little bit deeper into December and it gets a little colder, I could go glove, not a problem.
What we saw on that final sequence of that first half didn't go according to plan. Bengals were trying to drive the ball downfield, and then Joe Burrow was looking to spike it. May have been a declaration from the sideline, hey,
that's what it felt like.
Let's head to the locker room. Enough.
Yeah, it totally felt like that. Plus, you got a head coach, Zach Taylor, not knowing just how badly damaged that finger is. Do I want my quarterback making a throw of 60 yards without me knowing just what he has?
So the Bengals will have possession to start this second half. 24-13. Chargers in front. It was all L.A. for a long stretch of that first half. Coming out to the 25-yard line, we send it down to Evan Washburn.
Guys, no tape, no glove for Joe Burrow as he takes the field. Talked to Zach Taylor walking in at half, and he assured me, he said, hey, he's going to be fine. He'll be fine. We're talking about Joe Burrow and that pinky, but every time that pinky's impacted, whether it's putting a glove on, using the tape, he grimaces. So this is something he's going to have to deal with throughout this game.
All right, Evan, Burrow is 12 of 17, 142 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and a rushing touchdown. First down from the 25. Can they get Joe Mixon going? 11th carry for 20 yards. Mixon has been on quite a run. Had 165 yards last week, 2 touchdowns. AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Came in 76 yards away from 1,000. And we've got an injured Charger. Justin Jones just asked for some help to get to his feet. And he is going to walk gingerly to the sideline for L.A.
Part of that good defensive line rotation in the first half for the Los Angeles Chargers. They certainly did not look like a team ranked 32nd in run defense in the first half. As you outlined about Joe Mixon, can he get going? Frank Pollock, the offensive line coach and run game coordinator for Cincinnati, guaranteed he talked to his offensive line about what can we do to get Joe going and take some pressure off of our quarterback.
Second down and 8. That jump move by Joe Mixon. He spins for 4 yards. Now that is the right hand of Joe Burrow and clearly swollen. The pinky and then on the edge of his hand.
And we have 2 of the best quarterbacks of our generation in our studio. When we go back and they come to a highlight, they could probably tell us a little bit. Look at him handing off with the off hand to keep his right hand out of it. What it's like for a ball to spin off of that finger and what kind of damage that could cause.
Burrow throws it. And a rope to T. Higgins for a first down. Well, it may be painful and uncomfortable. Burrow is trying to navigate his way through it right now. And a new set of downs for Cincinnati to work with at the 41-yard line.
Listen, we're used to him. We're used to Justin Herbert being kings of improv, where they make adjustments on the fly. That's what Joe Burrow's doing. When you use the word navigate through it, improvisation as well. Change your handoffs, change how you do things to keep you going.
It's a give. Mixon taken down after the gain of 3. Chris Rumpf, the tackle.
Timeout for
Does the second pat there to try and make sure he gets that ball up in the air and off of his hands. And a nice throw there to T. Higgins. And unfortunately, Joe Mixon, the engine that drives this offense, down at the moment.
So the Bengals came into this game with Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon playing at an extremely high level. Burrow injured. Now they're checking on Mixon.
Without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Joe Mixon did get up on his own power and walked over to the pop-up tent. We'll have a report for you as soon as we get the information. 2nd down and 7 now for Cincinnati. P-Ryan is in there. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. And P-Ryan leans forward for 3. Down to Evan.
Guys, a lot to sort through here. So Joey Bosa for the Chargers, evaluated for a head injury. He will not return in this game. Uzie had a right foot injury. His return is questionable. Corner for the Bengals. That happened at the tail end of the first half. Logan Wilson, top tackler for the Bengals. He's out for this game with a shoulder injury. They continue to evaluate Joe Mixon in the blue tent with the UNC, the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant. We'll have an update officially when you get it.
All right, at 3rd and 3 now for Cincinnati. Opening drive of the 3rd. Burrow, a floater, caught! Tyler Boyd, 1st down. I didn't know if it was going to get there.
And how about him manipulating the pocket even before that? Going to step up in the throw, but as you noted, that one had to float. But it was the right throw, what was called for at the time. Had to put it over Chris Harris Jr., number 25, and in the waiting arms and hands of Tyler Boyd. We're going to see that look a lot. Every time he throws a football, if the hand gets banged, we're going to see that wince. But he's not going to come off the field unless he has to.
20-yard completion. P-Ryan gets buried right at the line of scrimmage by Christian Covington. Chargers playing without Linval Joseph today. And Joe Mixon returning. And he gets an ovation from this Cincinnati crowd.
And Evan reported that Joey Bosa out of the ball game. So that means Chris Rumpf, number 94, will be in the game. They're going to go try and use him in pass rush situations. Here he is. I'm aiming my running game towards the rookie out of Duke and see if he can hold up.
4th round draft pick. 2nd and 10. Burrow loads it up and overcooks it to Higgins. Incomplete.
I can tell you that Joe Mixon is okay. You know how I know this?
Blocking?
You see him step up on that pass protection?
Yes.
He stepped up and absolutely stoned the pass rusher. Joe Mixon's feeling just fine. Watch 28 in black. Bam! Big time shot on Drew Tranquil, just stopped him in his tracks. Yeah, I'm not worried about Joe Mixon from this point forward.
We asked him how is he taking care of his body this year, staying healthy. He said it starts in practice. They're not too hard on him. He feels better about his off-season program. He's learned how to pace himself. His dad, John, his uncle, Eric, have been at the forefront of those off-season trainings back at Freedom High School, going old school. Burrow sidesteps, flag down, buys time. Burrow running across the 25. He is short of a 1st down. And the penalty marker was tossed as Burrow was avoiding the pressure.
Bad spot for Cincinnati typically when it's tossed in that area. You got the referee and the umpire back there.
Holding. Offense, number 77. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
So the decision there for the Chargers, if they decline it, Burrow was short of a 1st down, but Cincinnati would have been in field goal range. Instead, the Chargers get an opportunity to stop the Bengals cold here and force them to punt or make a decision on 4th down. 11-minute mark of the 3rd. 24-13 Los Angeles.
How much can Joe Burrow push it downfield? We saw the floater on a beautiful pass to Boyd. Can he make a drive throw inside if he needs to?
Dime package here for Los Angeles. Burrow has the time, throws it on a line. Catch made by Higgins to the 30. So they pick up 12 yards. Field goal unit will come out for Cincinnati.
And he drove that one pretty well, I mean, that throw inside, one of those in-breaking routes, and he stepped into it and put a little bit on it. I know it didn't feel great on his hand, but he's resigned himself to understand that's how it's going to be the rest of this ball game. And he's brooking no thoughts about coming out of this game.
48-yard attempt for Evan McPherson. He has been terrific from 50 and longer, 7 of 8. This one just inside, 48 yards away. McPherson knocks it through. Bengals inch closer. Third quarter action continues from Cincy.
This holiday season, your local Acura dealer is breaking out
unique.
By the power vested in me from CBS Sports, you may kiss the bride. Go ahead, Tom. Oh, maybe later.
Oh, the rapport you have with officials, yes. Right? Whether they're here or the people officiating weddings, you are tapped in.
Touchback, Chargers have it at the 25. CBS Tuesday from the executive producer, Dick Wolf. These elite teams prove that justice has no borders. First, FBI, then FBI International, finishing the night with FBI Most Wanted. 3 unstoppable teams all on one night. The FBI's new Tuesday starting at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
I can tell you, Ian, you do not want Jess, O.A., or Maggie on your case. All from the FBI's.
Duly noted. Herbert faked the handoff. Herbert throws it. Extending off the hands of Keenan Allen, and a flag down.
Might have Mike Hilton there just a tad early, making a play. We'll see.
And Allen hunched over.
The roar makes it seem like maybe there's an offensive penalty here.
That was the reaction from the crowd. Mike Williams comes over to check on Allen.
Where it was thrown, though, was in the vicinity of the play, so I was a little bit confused there.
Sean Hockley.
Pass interference. Offense, number 13. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
So watch Allen. He's going to bend away and see the arm push off on Hilton just a little bit. To Keenan Allen, that's a normal play. Like, this is normal hand fighting. But when you get the arm extended like that out, it does draw the eyes of the officials. And when they see that arm extended on another player, oftentimes you do draw the flag.
That felt like a play on, live action and on replay.
It felt like normal, but sometimes your eyes, when they catch that one glimpse, that's what pulls the flag.
And the whistle stops play again on a 1st and 20 from the 15.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 22. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
And it's Justin Jackson. The Chargers are going in the wrong direction. A drive that started at the 25 will actually begin at the 10.
See the movement there. Can you remember early in the game how I felt the Chargers were like a step ahead? Like if it was a boxing match, you always hear the boxing trainer tell your guy, you be first, throwing your hands, so, be the boxer. That's how it was early in this game. This Bengals defense has hung in there, made some plays. It's no longer like that. They're now punching evenly.
Fake the swing pass, toss it underneath. Eckler, dangerous, across the 20-yard line. Austin Eckler having his best season now in his 5th year in the NFL. Joe Bocci with a tackle, 12-yard catch and run. Eckler with 7 rushing touchdowns, 7 receiving touchdowns. He is second to Jonathan Taylor in total touchdowns from scrimmage with 14. Taylor has 16 of the Colts.
That's been quiet lately. It's been number 81, Mike Williams for the Chargers.
He had the quick start, 4 catches, 92 yards. Over the middle. And fumbling again is Eckler. A scrap for the ball. Bengals come away with it. Jermaine Pratt. The officials are talking it over. No decision has been made as of yet.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense It's a first down, Cincinnati.
And it's Mike Hilton with the hit. Second one of the day for Austin Eckler.
And I think this one will stand as well because he makes the catch. He's getting both feet down in movement, and then they talk about that third act movement, you know, what they call the football move. I thought all of those elements were involved there before the hit by Hilton. I think this will stand, and it should be the Bengals' ball.
Eckler tried to dive on it. Bocce got his hand on it. Then the ball was rolling, and Pratt was actually the third man in.
Textbook tackle, too. Mike Hilton, not only did he knock the ball free, able to take his shoulder and knock it through. It wasn't just helmet in there. Yeah, Brandon Staley trying to say he's bobbling it. It should be an incomplete pass. I think it's going to stand.
Yeah, it looks like it's confirmed. Cincinnati offense is on the field. And they're going to break the huddle and run a play here with a 1st and 10 at the 32.
If Joe Burrow's hand was totally intact, I would think they would attack the end zone on this first pass. Let's see what they have in mind.
Third Los Angeles turnover of the day. 9 minutes to play in the third. Mixon in the backfield. Fake it. And a toss at the feet of Drew Sample. Incomplete. So the Chargers leading this one 24-16. Cincinnati Bengals in franchise history, no comeback wins when trailing by 24 points or more. Bengals were down 24-0 in the second quarter. 2nd and 10. Burrow. Throw to the outside. Chase tried to curl it in, and he was met at the 26-yard line by Campbell. So it's going to bring up 3rd down for the Bengals. Very slow start to the day for Cincinnati on both sides, offense and defense. Burrow now 16 of 23, 189 yards, a touchdown through the air, 1 on the ground, and a pick.
And that offensive line that had to be retooled before kickoff is playing better as the game goes on.
Pirine in there, 3rd and 4. Burrow, catch made, 1st down, spin by Chase. And they've got it inside the LA 20. Good for 9 yards.
The biggest play of the game where he was downfield, he bobbled the ball, turned to an interception. But he has not let that, slow him down. Undaunted since then. The best plays we've seen him make today have been strength plays. Right out of the gate, remember that first catch, knocking the defender by? He just did it again, being physical downfield to create space and let Joe Burrow get him the football.
From the 17. 1st down, Cincinnati. A jump. Mixon takes it inside the 10. And it was Kaiser White who was looking for an advantage at the line.
I think we got a jump and then a jump cut that turned into an excellent gain for Cincinnati. There's the jump. Looks like Joe Gaziano, 92. And look at the jump cut back inside.
Defense number 92.
By Mixon.
The result of the play is the 1st down, so the penalty is declined.
So they're going to spot it at the 9-yard line with a 1st and goal for the Bengals.
Just talk about their offensive line. Remember, Trey Hopkins is out at center. Riley Reif out at right tackle. Trey Hill in at center. Isaiah Prince at right tackle. I think they've gotten better as this game has gone on.
From the 7. Boyd goes in motion. Burrow on again. Stop and go. Mixon, the patience and vision for the touchdown. 9 straight games. Joe Mixon has put the ball in the end zone.
And the offensive line that we've just been stressing about how they've gotten better. Watch this. There's a slight jam up to the left, but then Burrow sees it and follows the big block inside. Trey Hill, 63, the center, helping him out, and then they get to the kid and play dance, and now going for 2.
And looking for the tie. And a flag just as Burrow was taking a look at the defense.
Too many in the huddle.
So Sean Hockley comes running over to the Cincinnati sideline, and Zach Taylor.
12 men on defense with the snap imminent. Cincinnati has elected to enforce that foul from the 2 to the 1 yard line. They're going for 2.
And bringing in big people.
Check in with Evan.
It's important for the Chargers here. No Justin Jones. Hasn't been in this entire series. He's the run stuffer for the Chargers. Has a heavy tape job on his right ankle. That injury occurred at the start of the second half.
And we've seen a softer center here for LA on that front since the Jones injury.
And remember, no Linval Joseph at all today.
Mixon trying to power in, denied. Could not get there. Los Angeles stonewalls him and holds on to a 2-point lead. James and Covington for the Chargers. 24-22. Los Angeles in front.
Superpowers from a spider bite. I could use some.
9 straight games with a touchdown for Joe Mixon, tying the longest single-season streak in franchise history. A.J. Green back in 2012. Cincinnati could not convert on the 2-pointers, so now trailing 24-22. The kickoff, McPherson to Roberts, and that one is a touchback. Seen a lot of celebrations for Cincinnati this season. They really get into the spirit of it. In Las Vegas, that was indigenous to what you might do in Vegas. I like that one. The Motown.
A little Temptations.
That worked.
Step,
and then,
Jonah Williams, step.
Yep, you go kid and play, house party 1 or 2. I don't know who's kid and who's play in that scenario, but it works.
I think next year for Halloween, you and I go as kid and play. And you have the Christopher Reed high top fade.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. I'd have to.
Got to.
Chargers have it at the 25. Herbert sells the fake. High throw, glances off the hand of Mike Williams with a couple of defenders in there.
The pocket got a little uneasy at the end of it. I think that's part of the reason the ball sailed on it. Looked like there was a defender in black giving him a little extra as he's trying to release the football. There's Herbert right there, and he's sensing that little bit of pressure, and that ball sails a little bit high, even for Mike Williams, who normally can climb the ladder and go get just about anything.
2nd and 10, 7:04 to play in the 3rd. Chargers trying to generate some offense here. Herbert looks. Sidearm toss to the outside, and it's Eckler with the grab and working the perimeter. Not enough for a first down, but 7 yards on that pass play, tackled by Jermaine Pratt.
One thing that I thought that Justin Herbert did very well when they played Pittsburgh was take off and go when the opportunity presented. He ran for 90 yards that game. But in that game, Pittsburgh played a lot of what they call carry coverage, where you're carrying receivers downfield, and they would turn their back to the quarterback, and he would run behind them. A lot more zone coverage with eyes on Herbert today, keeping him in the pocket.
3rd down and 3. Herbert hangs in there and hits his man. Keenan Allen, first down. And just to add to that, Justin Herbert already has set the Chargers' single-season record for rushing yards by a quarterback.
Yeah, it wasn't a monster amount of yardage.
It was not.
His 243 is where he was coming into the game. But give him credit, he did it. John Hadl was a running back and quarterback at Kansas before he went to the Chargers. So that's one of the guys he passed on the list to become #1. I don't know that Stan Humphries was breaking out of the pocket very often.
Under 6 minutes to go here in the 3rd. Jump cut by Eckler. Tackled from behind, 4-yard gain. Eckler's had 2 fumbles here today. We know he's a home run threat every time he touches the ball. He's basically been the every down back. Nobody has emerged as a steady #2 for LA that they can rely on game in and game out.
And he's one of the few backs in the league that's looking for a #2. He wants to share the load. He doesn't want to be the #1 guy. Part of it is because of his body type and the number of hits he'll take. So they're desperate to have someone emerge and seize that #2 role. But until then, they have to trust Austin Eckler.
2nd and 6. Guyton goes in motion. Bootleg. Herbert, rush coming, slips. Herbert, sacked. Back at the 28, Von Bell, first one, and then finished off by Sample. Loss of 12.
This was one of those designed big throws downfield for Joe Lombardi, and Von Bell spoiled the party initially, and then got some help from Cam Sample. And this is why you couldn't get it downfield. Look at this, where's he gonna go? Everyone covered, and that allows the rush to finish its job. But that was a design play from Joe Lombardi, offensive coordinator, as we saw in the first half, to try and create something big downfield for Mike Williams.
3rd and 18. Deep drop, Herbert, trouble again, hammered! It's Hendrickson, and the sack streak remains alive. 8 games in a row for Trey Hendrickson.
Watch Hendrickson from the top of your screen, uses his hands very well to beat the rookie, Rashawn Slater, who's having a tremendous rookie season. But the technique, the get off on the snap, Hendrickson gets to the quarterback, and this Bengals defense, a rough start, has hung in there all game long, and they've had a major effect in getting their team back into the game, only down 2.
11 AFC teams with 6 or more wins entering the week. That's how tight things are in the playoff chase. Irwin, the return man. And he is dropped at the 32-yard line. 49-yard kick from Ty Long and a 5-yard return. Joe Burrow and the Bengals go to work. They trail the Chargers 24-22 in the 3rd.
This holiday, Verizon has the deal that gets better and better and better. Get up.
And by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
Cincinnati takes over a 1st and 10 at its own 32-yard line. Knee injury for Justin Jones, not out there right now for LA. Joey Bosa, a head injury. Burrow sets, throws, caught by Chase. First down, clean grab against Michael Davis.
This is a beautiful ball. Absolutely beautiful. Look at where this is. Out and away from the defender. Let your receiver go get it. He does the toe tap on the sideline. There you go, Nate Burles, a little toe drag swag for you. Well-thrown football. If he keeps throwing it like this, he might want to leave the finger alone.
Well, he certainly doesn't want tape on it. We know that. They've tried 3 or 4 times.
Or a glove.
Nixon gets the call on first down and cuts it upfield for 3. Bengals come in 7-4. Chargers are 6-5. Both, as of this moment, are wild cards. We know this is highly fluid. Las Vegas, Denver, Indy, all have 6 wins. Cleveland joins them with 6. There's Pittsburgh and Miami with 5 apiece.
Tight. I mean, it is tight out there in the AFC. And if I'm Cincinnati, I'm letting Joe Mixon get a few touches on this drive now.
Burrow, the pressure was coming, and he had to get rid of it. Derwin James was ready to blast Joe Burrow.
And that was supposed to come to Joe Mixon, but because of what you just noted, timing all off, and a good job by Burrow, getting rid of the football out of harm's way, doesn't take the sack. Throws a nice incompletion, keep things going.
Now Burrow is keeping the train on the track since the pinky injury, 10 of 14, 84 yards. We asked Zach Taylor about this young team. He said, look, our group is young on paper, but you don't feel that way being around them. They've conducted themselves like veterans in the way they've handled their business. 3rd and 7. Rush coming, and Burrow, a dead duck. Derwin James leading the charge. Adderley there as well. And it's 4th down.
And Nasir Adderley and Derwin James, my goodness. Watch coming here.
Pirine shaken up on the play.
Adderley forced it. James finished it. See Adderley 24, right into the waiting arms of Derwin James. And Pirine can't get both of them.
And Burrow actually brought the ball to his left arm to cradle it, as James was trying to knock it away. Pirine goes to the Cincinnati sideline. The Bengals will punt it. We are under 2 minutes to go in the third. Harris, the snapper. Huber will kick it. Andre Roberts at the 13-yard line. Sailing kick. And Roberts hauls it in cleanly at the 15. 46-yard punt. All right, let me apologize to Dan Fouts right now. Here is footage from the Freezer Bowl. 1981 AFC Championship, played at the old Riverfront Stadium. Wind chill got all the way down to the -30s. Dan Fouts was cold. Dick Enberg's coffee froze. And Ken Anderson was hot. 2 touchdowns. The Bengals with a 27-7 win to advance to the Super Bowl.
I still can't believe they played a game that day. And that was that old turf. Not this good, somewhat forgiving. That old stuff, you gotta be kidding me.
Fake the handoff. Herbert throws it. Incomplete, looking for Keenan Allen. You want to go a little deeper on the Freezer Bowl? We can. Here's some information. The wind, 20 to 35 miles per hour. No shows for that game, over 13,000. Dan Fouts was not the issue. It was Don Fouts, as listed in the post-game program and box score.
I'm sure Dan wished that Don had actually taken all the snaps that day.
Yes.
With the result as it turned out.
And it would have been Don that would feel the frostbite, not Dan. 2nd and 10. Herbert waiting it out, throws it into a crowd, and it's blown up. He was just looking for someone to pass to, and Parham ended up being the target. Jesse Bates there defensively, and now it's 3rd down for LA. Just amazing. This offense was free-flowing in the first quarter, and now they can't seem to complete a ball downfield.
And how about how the defense under Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator of these Bengals, hung in there while the Chargers were going up and down the field. Hung in there. Now they've had an effect on the game. Herbert lucky to get away with that last throw.
Under a minute to go in the third. 3rd and 13 for LA. Herbert steps. Herbert gets out of it. Throws. Incomplete. It was in the direction of Cook. I'm not sure he knew the ball was coming his way.
That's the first thing I thought as well. As the ball came down, as it was coming, it had a chance. But I'm not sure, as you pointed out, that Jared Cook was thinking the ball was coming his way, and I don't think he noticed it until way too late. Look at him looking at the board now to see how it turned out. That actually had a chance of being completed and maybe bailing them out of trouble.
So the punt from Ty Long from his own end zone. Irwin will set up at the 42 of Cincinnati. Irwin for a catch and brings it in just short of the 43-yard line. It's a 45-yard kick. Bengals offense back on the field with 38 seconds to play in the third. We've got 2 38-year-old head coaches, both of them former college quarterbacks. It was Taylor who stuck with offense through his coaching career, and Staley who went to the other side coaching defense. And here they are matched up for the first time at this level.
And it's interesting because Zach Taylor never thought about going to defense, even though his father was a defensive safety in college and quite a good ball player, by the way. And Staley was switched to defense by his head coach at the time. And that's how the whole thing started for him.
1st down and 10.
Joe Novak of Northern Illinois.
Joe Mixon to the 45 for 3 yards. Staley was a quarterback at Dayton, eventually Mercyhurst College in Erie, Pennsylvania. And Zach Taylor, excellent QB at Nebraska.
Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year senior year.
Had a cup of coffee in the CFL with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Final seconds of the third. Hard count. Chargers won't bite, and we go to the fourth. 24-22. Chargers in front of the Bengals on CBS.
Look, Serena Williams, Matrix. Serena, Matrix. Serena, Matrix.
Chargers have won the last 2 meetings between these two teams. The last 5 games have been decided by 7 points or fewer. We've got a 2-point game to open the 4th. 2nd and 7. Bengals go empty from the gun. Burrow. Nice toss to Tyler Boyd. He put just enough loft on it to get it to Boyd. Jerry Tillery was looking for blood.
Just think about how he is performing with his hand like this, and now having to make the adjustment, and that ball goes right through Kaiser White's hands. It actually moved a little bit, and Boyd stayed with it. But the adjustments that Burrow is making on how he has to throw the football, give him big time credit for it.
Cincinnati has a first down in Los Angeles territory. Back to Mixon, turns the corner, out of bounds. Little pep in his step. Joe Mixon forced out by Drew Tranquil of the Chargers.
I feel like Zach Taylor is the play caller for the Bengals. Is going to mix a little more Mixon in there. I think that you're going to see a little bit more of the run game come back. They've been stymied big time in the first half by the Chargers. That offensive line, I feel like, is settled in better. Look at this lineup we've got here. Look to the right side, the number of bodies for the Bengals.
Extra offensive lineman, Carmen. Oh, Mixon coughs it up, and it's scooped up. Nobody is going to catch him. Tavon Campbell all the way. Touchdown, Chargers.
Who popped it free on the cut? One of the biggest plays of this ball game. Watch Mixon to your right, cutting.
I think he just lost it.
I think he just lost it. I thought someone popped it free initially.
Covington was there. And it just sat there for Tavon Campbell for the scoop and score.
I saw Covington. See Covington's left hand? He was in there. I don't know if it actually impacted. But the left hand was reaching in the midsection of Mixon. Did it actually impact, or as you noted, did Mixon just pop it?
And they're going to go for 2 here.
Already up 8, trying to make it a 10-point game.
And flags fly. Will this change their decision?
Again, we've seen this before.
False start. Offense, number 82.
I think you got to kick it now, don't you?
Man, it looks like they're having a discussion there.
Listen, you're already a 1-score
Los
game.
Angeles has elected to enforce that 5-yard foul from the 15 to the 20 and kick for 1 point.
You're already in a 1-score game at 8, right? So if you kick it and make it 9, it's a 2-score game. I don't know that you need the 10th.
It seems obvious.
Right? Just go ahead and kick the extra point initially. But in this case, he's got to do it now anyway.
But I understand and I recognize there's a new
way. It's a new way of doing it. And I think teams like to press it and continue to press it. Off season, I'll see you in class. You and I will take that class.
I might audit it. I don't know if I have time for the full-time status.
Tell you what, I'll give you my notes.
That's fair. Extra point from Hopkins. He connects. Tavon Campbell out of Regina. Played in the CFL. Has a rugby background, and he's got himself an NFL touchdown. Joe Mixon, the recovery, and the run back from Campbell. Chargers now lead at 31-22. Chargers have 17 points. Off turnovers, Cincinnati 13. And this is not something that happens often for Joe Mixon. The last time he fumbled and it was recovered by the defense, it happened to be the same opponent. Week 1 last season. Mixon coughed it up. Chargers pounced on it. And today's was a gift.
Christian Covington's left hand got enough of the ball to wobble it out. Tavon Campbell scoops up the gift and scores.
Here's Burrow. Dropped by Chase. 13:40 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Second drop of the day for the young man from LSU. First one was a big strike downfield. Looked like it was going to be 6 and turned into an interception for Michael Davis of the Chargers.
And the Chargers' 6 wins, they're averaging just over 32 points per game. And their 5 losses, they're averaging 16. So they're in their sweet spot with their point production, leading 31-22.
Much more comfortable in track meet games.
2nd and 10. Burrow gets rid of it quickly, and that one off the hands of Uzomah. Fortunate for Cincinnati that it wasn't picked off.
Indeed. Is that Adderley who had the chance? Just 1 career interceptions for Nasir Adderley. This could have been his 2nd, I believe. Right there off the hands of Uzomah. Ball's right where it's supposed to be. Uzomah's concentration waned a little bit at the end of the attempted catch. Almost turned into 1 for Adderley.
4 drop passes today for Cincinnati. 3rd and 10 for the Bengals. Burrow. Delayed rush. And he's crushed. Tranquil for LA. 4th down.
Drew Tranquil from the 2nd level right there. Look at him take off, and look at how everyone occupies blockers. The rookie center, Trey Hill, was double teaming to his left, never saw Tranquil coming, and he took advantage of the opening and put Burrow on the deck.
3 and out for Cincinnati with Huber punting to Andre Roberts. Waiting for it at the 37. No rush. Didn't get all of that one. And Roberts not going to take any chances. Fair catch called for at the 46-yard line. That's a 38-yard punt. Coming up next, we will shift our focus to a key battle in the AFC North. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens taking on Big Ben Steelers. Also, the 49ers matched up with the Seahawks. The hunt for the playoffs continues. The NFL on CBS. And news filtered out over the last 24 hours that this could be it for Ben Roethlisberger. The farewell tour, longtime Pittsburgh Steeler, now in his 18th season.
He'd like nothing more than to ignite a hot stretch down on the finish and go into the playoffs and being a factor.
Herbert throws it underneath. Guyton slips and brought down after a very short gain on the play by Bocci. So Guyton has emerged, 3 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Mike Williams was a huge factor early. Keenan Allen has a couple of touchdowns, 5 catches for 34 yards. And Herbert now has 264 yards through the air.
Remember, this is not a big running team, the Chargers, in terms of eating up clock. They have to do it by controlled passes.
Fake the pitch. Herbert throws, and he's got Williams. Catch and run, those long strides for Mike Williams. Such a lanky target. He's like an athletic tight end in many ways because of his body type.
And this is Williams' first catch since the first quarter as he goes against the grain, gets through the wash. And Justin Herbert on that play, being 6'6", as he rolls out and able to stand up to his normal height, he can see over Sam Hubbard and make an easy throw into the flat.
So Williams now over 100 yards, 110 on the day. Fake the run. Herbert drives it downfield. Catch made. Guyton nearly gets to the goal line. He lost it at the end of the play, but he's ruled down at the 1. Jalen Guyton has been a difference maker.
When you're a team that doesn't pound the ball very well running it, you've got to take advantage of your controlled passing game. And off of a run-pass option, it's exactly what Justin Herbert does. Excellent toss downfield on a rope. Guyton possesses it, and as he goes down, he loses control of the football. But he's down at this point. Yes, he is clearly down. 1st and goal.
Handoff. Eckler lunges. Touchdown. Chargers. They set it all up through the air, and then Eckler takes it in for the score.
When you run the ball and you're going to run it, typically the left side for the Los Angeles Chargers. Good lead block there, Steven Anderson, 82. Right in the middle, they brought in Scott Quessenberry as an extra offensive lineman, 61. Trey McKinney, a good blocking tight end out of the University of Georgia, rookie this season. But the left side is the dependable running side when they do put the ball in Eckler's hands.
Extra point is good from Dustin Hopkins. And the Chargers extend their lead, 38-22. Still a lot of time left, 10:49 on the clock. Eckler's had a couple of fumbles here today, but he's also got himself a big touchdown for LA.
Finally, a light scent that lasts. Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And by Harry and David. Don't miss out. Order now for Christmas delivery.
Los Angeles Chargers 14 points over the last 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Eckler with his 15th touchdown of the season. That's 1 ahead of Joe Mixon and 3 behind Jonathan Taylor. Booming kick. Cincinnati with possession at its own 25-yard line. So it was Herbert who had a really strong start, and then things hit a bit of a lull in the third quarter. But overall, the numbers are there. 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. Flip it for Burrow. Started to find a rhythm into the second quarter, injured his right pinky, but he's still been good, even dealing with the pain here in the second half.
First meeting of 2 of the hot young quarterbacks in this league. Can't wait to watch the others develop.
Burrow trying to get out of there. Cannot. He got swallowed up by Rumpf. Chris Rumpf, extended playing time because of the injury to Joey Bosa. And the rookie delivers, brings a lot of energy and length and a variety of moves.
First sack of his career. And you mentioned filling in for Joey Bosa. What they've wanted to do with Rumpf this year is let him play special teams, put some weight on him, get him a little bit bigger and stronger, and use him more as a designated pass rusher when they put him in the ball game. He's having to do a little more full-time play today. Just got to the quarterback for the first time in his career.
He's listed at 6'3", 225. Burrow throws. Catch. Move by Higgins. And then tackled from the side. Flag is down. Might have grabbed right along the jersey on the back, around the neck. And Higgins is slow to get up.
Personal foul, illegal horse collar tackle, defense number 94. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. It's a first down.
And it's Rumpf.
Timeout for injury.
So the horse collar flag is going to give Cincinnati outstanding field position. And Higgins just testing his right foot. He's trying to put some pressure on it. Now they're going to tighten the laces. And we're ready to resume at the 49 of LA. Under 10 minutes to play. 16-point lead for the Chargers, trying to improve to 7-5 on the season. Mixon in the backfield. Fake it. Burrow dials it up. Nobody home. Tyler Boyd, the intended target, incomplete. Burrow is now 20 of 31, 237 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and a rushing touchdown. Zach Taylor talked to us about Burrow and how he leads with his toughness. Guys see it, they react to it. His dad was a defensive coordinator, Joe's dad, and that filtered down to Joe. Shotgun. Burrow lays it out there. Catch, cut, chase. First down. Man, he's really elusive. Campbell eventually makes the tackle. It's good for 14 yards.
He's got a perfect combination of elusiveness and strength because he's going to make someone miss here. Campbell's, he cuts inside, but now as he gets his hands on him, he takes him with him for a few additional yards.
From the 35, Burrow, downfield, hits T. Higgins. Bengals are in business at the 10. Derwin James with a tackle, good for 25.
This is why I keep coming back to Wayne Gretzky with Joe Burrow, because he sees things a little bit quicker than other people. He saw where the gap was going to be, where the hole was going to be, and put the ball out there for his receiver to go get it. Almost as if he's saying, just find the ball, I'll take you to the open spot.
First and goal from the 10. Fake the handoff. Burrow looking, throws to a spot, and it's broken up. Higgins, the intended receiver. Michael Davis with the blanket coverage.
That's excellent coverage by Davis at the end of the play, able to extend and go across the body of Higgins. Look how he gets that arm out in front and knocks it away. They really missed him when he was out with an injury for a few ball games. Talk about Michael Davis on the corner for the Chargers.
And Burrow didn't seem to have any problem putting some mustard on that pass.
Now he is playing through some things. He may be hurting big time later tonight when the adrenaline wears off and tomorrow. But right now, you talk about gritting it out. He's definitely doing that.
Stanley Morgan in there, sets up in the slot. Chase in the backfield. Flag down. Burrow out of the pocket. Burrow will tuck and run. And he'll pick up 3.5 on the play. Nwosu with a tackle on Burrow. Penalty marker came out fairly early on the play.
Illegal shift. Number 85 did not get set. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
So it's T. Higgins, and they're going to back it up to the 15.
Yeah, he's going to get out there on that motion, get set for 1 second. Since he's going back to the line of scrimmage, near the line of scrimmage.
Second and goal. We're down to 8:15 left to play in the fourth.
Middle 49. Ready?
Burrow steps up, flips it, intercepted in the end zone by Chris Harris Jr. Huge turnover. And a flag down at the 24-yard line.
The result of the play is a touchdown. No, correction.
No.
I apologize.
No
The
worries.
result of the play is an interception by Los Angeles. Holding by the offense, number 77. This penalty is declined. It's Los Angeles' ball. First down.
All good, Sean.
You're very forgiving with your people. I like that. But it felt like on that play, Joe Burrow had a couple of other options. One was to run it, and two, I felt like on the initial look, he had another receiver in front of him shorter, but he took the deeper shot. Might have bit off a little bit more than he should have on that attempt there, and it cost his team, and the Chargers take over.
And the turnovers have been killers. 4 of them for the Bengals. Chris Harris Jr. still doing it after all these years. They've asked him to do a lot of different things this year in this defense. Eckler, first down run. Can Los Angeles run the football with confidence here and use clock? Harris, of course, won a Super Bowl with Denver and was familiar with his head coach, Brandon Staley, when Staley was an assistant in Denver, and he said, whenever the assistant coaches got a chance to give their presentation, Vic Fangio would urge those guys to do it, get in front of the group. He said Staley's was always the most complete and thorough.
So here's the one we look forward to. You know, you learn things. There's an entertainment factor to it. Chris Harris, as you mentioned, doing after all these years, a member of the NFL All-Decade team of the 2010s.
Give it to Eckler again. Pyle is pushed for 1.5 yards. Down to Evan.
We got a flag down here, some extracurricular, and was just thinking, I feel like we get that presentation on production calls with Brandon Staley. He likes to give detail, but guys, he laid it out for his defense in this game. When you see what they've been able to do against this Bengals group.
Yeah, as we wait for the call, Evan, one of the things they've done very well today is tackle in the open field. Remember how he said, don't let a 3-yard run be more than a 3-yard run? I think they've done a really nice job of that, limiting the extra yards after contact.
So sorting through this one, Sean Hockley and company. For the Bengals, the opportunities have been there. It looked like they had all the momentum driving down the field, chance to take the lead. Mixon turns it over, goes back the other way for a touchdown, and then things have unraveled since. This is an extended discussion. And Zach Taylor just trying to get some clarification here from longtime down judge Ed Camp. The run was for about 1.5 yards. But there was activity there. And as Evan detailed, some pushing and shoving at the end of the play. Yeah, for Cincinnati, that pretty much tells you what the feelings are right now.
You know what this feels like? That they're trying, you mentioned clarity. Someone else got some eyes to see, because you can do that if you see something and you notice it from New York, that you can tell the officials and try and help them.
There is no foul on the play. It's 3rd down.
All right. So it never happened. Just completely erase it.
It's 2nd down.
All right. And it's 2nd down.
Oh, no. Please set the play clock to 40 seconds. The play clock to 40. Thank you. Then he wants a timeout. Okay.
Okay, we're getting inside the discussions. Behind
Cincinnati
the scenes.
has taken a timeout. This is their first of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
It's like the director's cut.
It's 2nd down.
Bonus material. So basically Cincinnati is saving themselves 40 seconds here by calling the timeout, because Los Angeles would have used every last second on the play clock. 7:08 to play. Chargers in control here, 38-22. Charles, the ebb and flow of this game has been nuts.
It really has, because we were at 24-0 at one point, Chargers.
Yeah, it looked like a laugher.
And then at some point we were 24-22, and Cincinnati had the football and was driving. Got nothing out of that, and then we had the fumble. Christian Covington popping it free from Mixon. Devon Campbell. Big shot downfield. Jalen Guyton. Here we are.
2nd and 8. Another running play, of course. Eckler. And once again met by Pratt. Timeout call. So Cincinnati is just trying to stop this clock.
Cincinnati. They're 2nd of the half.
Get the football back with enough time to drive down the field and then stop the Chargers and drive again. The turnovers. Joe Burrow not free. Nwosu. This one was wild. Chase actually tapped it into Davis. The fumble by Mixon. And then Burrow's 2nd interception of the day. And it's Harris. But here's the thing. You can call all these timeouts. You have to stop the Chargers here. If the Chargers get the first down, the timeouts mean nothing, because they can do the same thing.
Superfluous at that point. Now you're out of them. But it's that strategy they have to take. They have to hope they can get that done.
Blasted, and Cook did not get there. He comes up short.
And you notice the Chargers having to throw for it on that down, trying to get the first down.
The runner was short of the line to gain. It's 4th down. Timeout Cincinnati. Their final timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
And a good job by Ed Camp, who you just noted, Ian, the official on that sideline. Because look at the stretch and the reach. He's at the first down marker, but Ed Camp saying, number one, the clock continues to go. And number two, when you reached and hit it, you were out of bounds. So you don't get that yardage on that play. He was all over that one.
So Cincinnati has used its final timeout, 6:56 to play. And the Chargers facing a 4th down. They spotted the ball. It's 4th and a little more than a yard. And the offense will stay on the field.
I only do this if I'm hard counting, and I'm going to go ahead and punt the ball. That's the only way I'm doing this. I'm not giving them a short field now when I'm fully in control and I can punt and change field position. It's only hard count or nothing to me.
See if Cincinnati takes the cheese. Play clock down to 3.
False start by the offense, number 10. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's 4th down.
They might wave that off and get the timeout, perhaps. Let's see. But I didn't think there was any way that they were snapping that football in that situation. I mean, that's foolhardy in that position to give them a short field when you've got them on the run and their timeouts are gone.
Before the false start, Los Angeles threw a challenge flag with a challenge on the play, the previous play. The previous play is under further review.
All right, so they're going to challenge the spot. It is Jared Cook extending. Obviously, Staley's coaches saw
Took him
a couple of looks.
Took him a while to get there, I'll tell you that, because this play was long over.
Is that enough on the lunge?
Listen, every time we've seen a spot play, it's been very difficult to determine, and I've rarely seen one overturn where they give you the spot on the replay.
I got to tell you.
Typically, it's what stands.
It looked like he stayed in bounds, though, and that was the call by Camp. And then he lunges. Gene Steratore is watching along with us. What'd you see, Gene?
It's a great point right at the end there, Ryan. I think, truthfully, from the Chargers sideline, they're thinking we were going to try to get the defense drawn offside and take a timeout anyway, so let's go ahead and throw the challenge with 3 timeouts remaining if we're unsuccessful where we are. But the point you made with the player inbounds and lunging, I still think he's short. It's where the ball crosses the sideline.
Yep.
Eddie Camp's right on the play, as Charles alluded to earlier. But I think it's just we're going to use a timeout. Let's take a shot at it and see if we can't get this thing overturned to a 1st down.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Gene, in regards to why they did it.
But Gene's point is where he came down, yes, but it's where he went over the sideline where the ball would be short. And I've rarely seen spots changed. It's tough to do.
So Sean Hockley is having some words with Brandon Staley before he makes the public announcement of what the decision is. So the ruling on the field is they were short of the line to gain by about 1.5 yards.
Yeah.
The question is whether or not they got a fair spot.
And if what Gene says is correct, the spot would move and still be short of the 1st down. Does that change your strategy? I don't think so. I still am punting the football away. I'm not giving an opportunity for the Bengals to have the ball here with 6:56 on a short field.
Again, this is a very long discussion. As Gene mentioned, they were probably going to use the timeout anyway, so the challenge is just a little bit of a Hail Mary unless they truly believe that they're going to get this call overturned.
I think for everyone here, unfortunately, it feels like one of those timeout pluses. You know, It's a timeout, and then there's a little bit more.
Apologies for the delay. Apologies for the delay. The ruling on the field was forward progress, which is not a challengeable play. Therefore, we're allowing Los Angeles to pick up their challenge flag. Because the challenge flag did actually come out before the false start, there is no false start charged. It's 4th down and 2 yards to go. Apologies for the delay. 4th down.
All right, Gene, what's your take on that?
Very confusing because you have a runner moving forward, not being driven backward, taking himself out of bounds on his own volition and not being driven back. So to come out of this now and say that there's progress, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me from where I sit, guys.
Ditto.
Thanks, Gene.
Ty Long will punt it. Irwin is the return man at the 12. Wobbler. Irwin catches and ducks out of bounds at the 21-yard line. So 6:50 remaining. Cincinnati is out of timeouts. They trail 38-22. Bengals came in riding a 2-game winning streak, trying to make it 3 in a row and maintain their position within the AFC. Stay tuned. NFL Today update, time permitting. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher, NFL scores and highlights. From the 21. Burrow. Joe Mixon couldn't secure it. Incomplete. Drew Tranquil, the linebacker, had the coverage against the running back. Cincinnati, 4 of its last 6 games are here at home. We've got San Francisco coming up, then at Denver. Burrow gets out of it, flips it, and Higgins gets out of bounds. 1st down. Out near the 35-yard line.
He's been under duress much of this game, but it hasn't affected his poise. Able to step out of more turbulence in the pocket, keep the play going, and find T. Higgins in the flat.
We're down to 6:25 to play here in the 4th. Burrow steps up, and Burrow gets blasted. It is Nwosu once again. 6th sack of the day for the LA defense.
Top of your screen, Nwosu, number 42, works a stunt, comes inside of Jerry Tillery. So that'd be, what do they call it, ET stunt or a TE stunt, end tackle, working that way. And the beneficiary, Nwosu.
And a loss of 5 on the play, 2nd and 15. We're down to 5:42 to go. Burrow, sideline route, off the hands of Higgins, incomplete. 3rd and long now for the Bengals. Last week, riding high, Zach Taylor and the Bengals completed their first sweep of the Steelers since 2009. Entered action 1 game behind Baltimore in the AFC North.
One of the challenges Zach Taylor laid out to his team was one Coach Cowher laid out on the NFL Today. Can you win 3 in a row? They haven't done that in a long time. This was the opportunity today.
Yazama comes up short of the 1st down at the 40-yard line. Campbell involved defensively for Los Angeles. They pick up 10. Clock is rolling, 5:20 and counting. And it's a 4th down play here for Cincinnati. On 4th and 5. Rush. Burrow hit as he throws. Incomplete. And the Chargers take over. Chris Rumpf put the heat on Joe Burrow.
This is why they drafted Chris Rumpf, his pass rushing ability, and they just think when they get a little heft on him, keep that speed increased, you'll see more of that. And he's had to really jump out there today and take on extra plays with Joey Bosa getting hurt in this one.
And that will pretty much do it. You got 4:59 on the clock, but Cincinnati's down by 16 points. They have no timeouts left. Chargers with the football at the Bengals 40-yard line.
But they're going to run it. Left side is almost always the target.
And the key right now, just hold on to the football and milk the clock. Chargers have the Giants coming up. Also Kansas City, then on the road at Houston, with Denver and Las Vegas on the rest of the schedule.
And they already hold a win over Kansas City at Kansas City, right? A win against the Raiders at home. Now they go on the road, and they lost to Denver. Talk about their division games.
They had actually won 5 in a row in the division until that loss to Denver last week. Kind of down to the 4-minute mark. Eckler again. And he is dropped at the 33, B.J. Hill. Well, we mentioned Cincinnati. They've got San Francisco coming up, then at Denver, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Cleveland. Challenging schedule for Cincinnati. If you just go off the numbers, it's the 5th toughest schedule remaining in the NFL.
and 3 of the other in the top 5 belong to the AFC North teams.
Correct.
I mean, the schedule is brutal for all of them.
Austin Eckler had to come off the field there and limping noticeably along the sideline. So Justin Jackson is in on 3rd and 3. Jackson trying to get to the spot. He does. Needed the 30, and that's exactly where he was tackled. So they'll move the chains. More clock will be used by Los Angeles. Eckler trying to walk it off. 14 carries, 59 yards, a touchdown. Eckler 5 catches, 45 yards.
He ought to stay there the rest of the game. He's done his work. Had a couple bobbles in there, but they rely on him heavily to try and create their offense.
First down for Los Angeles at the 30. Jackson blasted in the backfield. It's a loss on the play of 4. Jermaine Pratt with the stop for Cincinnati. Joey Bosa missed the majority of this game with a head injury. They also lost Justin Jones to a knee injury. But this defense held up.
Especially in the run game. I think that may be the biggest surprise of what we had today, Ian, is how they played the run so effectively for most of the ball game.
Pitch to Jackson. And that will be the 2-minute warning. Chargers looking to wrap things up on the road, up 38-22 in Cincinnati.
With Consumer Cellular, get the same premium coverage.
Celebrate every kiss with K. And by Consumer Cellular.
Final 2 minutes here in Cincinnati. Chargers got off to a fantastic start. Cincinnati rallied, but the Chargers have had enough. Give is to Jackson. Eckler limped off. Bengals have no timeouts remaining. Can't stop the clock after the 2-yard gain. LA led 24-0 in the second quarter. Bengals came storming back to cut it to 24-22. They were actually driving at that point with a chance to take the lead. A mix and fumble recovered by Campbell scooped it up for a touchdown. And since that point, it's been all Los Angeles. Fourth down and 5.
You know, at different points of this game, both teams showed their grit, didn't they? Cincinnati down 24,
Timeout.
came back.
Los Angeles, their first of the half, 30 seconds in length.
And then Los Angeles with their backs to the wall with Cincinnati driving, finding plays to keep their lead and then increase it.
So the Chargers use the timeout. 1:15 on the clock. And Hopkins is going to come out for a field goal attempt. Right now it's just window dressing, trying to get to 0-0. Hopkins did miss an extra point, made one from 43 yards away. This will be a 43-yarder as well. Overton to snap it. Ty Long will hold it. And the Chargers have put 41 points on the board. Just over a minute to play. Brandon Staley, Zach Taylor didn't know one another. In fact, had never met. They had exchanged texts. That was about it.
Yeah, kind of crossed paths on a staff, right? Not on the staff, but
under Sean McVay.
Under Sean McVay, but just weren't together.
Taylor was there prior to getting the Cincinnati job, and then Staley joined that staff last year as the defensive coordinator. They both had glowing remarks about the other and the respect level and reputation that each has. Both 38 years old, so there could be a number of matchups down the road for these two. For Cincinnati, it's going to be frustration. They thought they had it rolling a bit. The last two games, what they've done to the opposition against the Raiders, against the Steelers, but could not get out of the gates here.
Could not effectively run the football to start the game, which is something that has become a lot of their identity. And I think the loss of Riley Reiff at right tackle and Trey Hopkins at center was a little glaring in the beginning.
So now in the AFC, you give the Chargers the win. They're 7-5. The loss to Cincinnati, 7-5. And lurking, Las Vegas, Denver, Indianapolis has put together a hot streak. Miami keeps winning. Burrow remains in there, not sure why. He gives it to Pirine. And he picks up 5 yards. We're at the 1 minute mark.
He may very well have told them he's going back out there. It's one of those deals. I don't know about you, Ian, but I've asked a number of coaches about this type of thing down the stretch, and I've never gotten a real answer about it. Most of them just kind of look at me like, well, that's what we do. And that's pretty much the end of the discussion.
Burrow did crack 300 yards through the air, but a couple of picks. One in the end zone. That's moved by Pirine. And he drives to the 40-yard line. Final 30 seconds.
For a young quarterback like Burrow, it's important how he is seen in the eyes of his teammates. And guys like that often say, I am not leaving this field with them.
2020 draft picks, #1 overall, Joe Burrow, #6 overall, Justin Herbert. And this matchup belongs to the Chargers. Things get even tighter in the AFC. The Chargers get the win over Cincinnati, 41-22. LA improves to 7-5. The Bengals fall to 7-5. 363 yards of offense for the Chargers. They get the road win. A team that started the season 4-1. Since that point, they have now gone 3-4. And both teams have felt that roller coaster ride, that inconsistency. Bengals were looking for their first 3-game winning streak since 2015. Not today. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader, Ravens-Steelers or 49ers-Seahawks. For Charles, Evan, Gene, Ian Eagle saying so long from Cincinnati. The NFL on CBS continues after this.